What's up, Graham? And Facebook probably too. Today I wanted to talk about the recent scandal, or not really a scandal, but the recent situation with the WeWork IPO that got announced a couple months ago and then just recently got pulled, basically due to allegations, or not really allegations, but uncoverings that the founder, Adam Neumann, who's the CEO and basically owns all the stock of the company based on my research, has been spending excessively, smoking a lot of marijuana, like on the plane, in the office, all the time. Nothing against marijuana, but like excessive usage from someone who's supposed to be running a $50 billion company. And, that he's overspending, and the main problem that the markets have right now with what he's doing is that, and again, it's a private company, so it's not a public company yet. They have to start divulging a lot of information in the process of going to be a public company, from basically being private, where none of their information is like fully known by the public at large. And one of the big things that happened was that it came out that he sold $700 million worth of stock. Now, there's also some reports that he's also borrowing more money to put it back in, but he's got 5 houses. He bought a $60 million private plane. Like I said, he's, smoking a lot of marijuana during work hours. And what happens is when that all comes out before the company goes public, it causes a ripple effect, and it causes a lot of anxiety in the big money and the big banks and the people who are potentially going to be investing into the company. And, as a result of that, they had to pause it. They had to pull it off, take it off the calendar. And hopefully, I would assume that they're going to, and I don't know if this is official yet, but they're going to make him step down in his role. And he's going to keep his stock. They don't take his stock away from him, but they're going to retool the image of him in the public eye, and try and hope this blows over, and then also try and probably go public soon. Based on some other research I was doing, it looks like they really do need to raise a lot of money. They have a lot of real estate that they own or that they lease around the world. The last funding round had them valued at $47 billion, and this is one of those companies that doesn't make money at all right now. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Historically, if you look back, almost all of the greatest companies that we've ever known go through this phase. Apple obviously is famous for kicking Steve Jobs out. He was crazy, he was eccentric, he had some drug use allegations, but not to this level. I mean, he went to, I forget where he went, he took acid, but that was why he wasn't there. Amazon, Jeff Bezos, I forget the status if they're making money right now, but for the longest period of time, they never made money for, 10 years. People called him crazy, and now he's the richest man on the planet. So, I'm going to be watching this story, and I'm going to be kind of following it. As you know, I'm very into technology, and I follow this stuff regularly. It's not directly related to my practice area of law, but it is civil litigation, and I understand a lot of stuff that's going on here. It's going to be potentially I don't know if he's looking at liability yet, probably not, but he might be looking at fines, regulatory issues. So it's an interesting topic nonetheless. And I'm just looking here at some articles that I pulled up. But, one of the things now, they just got this guy on CNBC. The news obviously picks up these stories. They're interesting. They want to talk about them. They got this guy, Don Peebles, on there, and he's talking about how, if they're going to be in a cash crunch and they may default on a bunch of their leases because if they don't raise the money that they need to raise, then they're going to be in a tough financial position. They might not be able to pay the leases off at their big buildings that they own. They take a lot of really fancy space, and they spend a lot of money. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Definitely going to keep following this. So anyway, just a little update on my perspective on what's going on at WeWork. All great companies go through this phase. It's just whether or not they can get through it and get all the way to the promised land on the other side. So we will see if that happens to Adam Neumann and WeWork.